Hey guys, I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com. You know, the Windows Phone 7 fun, it just keeps on going. With the Samsung Focus, it's available now at AT&T for $199.99, and it's one of 3 Windows Phone 7 devices that are either on AT&T or coming to AT&T in time for the holiday season. There's this one, the HTC Surround, and the LG Quantum, which is on its way. It's a cool device, 1 GHz processor, 4-inch Super AMOLED display, 5-megapixel camera, and a lot of fun packed inside. Is it the best smartphone? Is it the best Windows Phone 7 phone? We'll find out in the review. But first, special thanks to our friends at Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with 2 of these bad boys for use on One Paw Bandit giveaway. You know, we like to give away phones. We like to hook you up with those phones. Best Buy Mobile helps make it happen. One thing I love about Best Buy Mobile, you go into Best Buy Mobile to get this device, it's $199.99. You don't have to worry about rebates or messy paperwork or waiting 8 to 10 weeks, you know, dealing with debit cards. I'm stressed in the holiday season. I'm sure you're stressed as well. Why worry about the rebates? Why do that? Thanks to Best Buy Mobile, it's a rebateless price. You walk in, you walk out, you pay $199, don't have to deal with mail and rebates. But enough of that, let's get into the review. Samsung Focus, cool phone, Windows Phone 7 excitement, starts right now. So here's the Samsung Focus. It's available now on AT&T for $199.99 after a mail-in rebate, and it's the second Windows Phone 7 device to hit the carrier. The first was the Surround and the Focus. Well, actually, they came out on the same day. But this one was the second one. The third one, the LG Quantum, is on the way, and it has a physical QWERTY keyboard. So if that's your thing, you need that physical QWERTY keyboard. That's another one to be on the lookout for as well. Now, it's plasticky feeling. It's like the Galaxy S line. It has a plastic feel to it. It's hard plastic. It's not flimsy by any means. But that may frustrate people that are used to higher-end, you know, kind of premium design like the iPhone 4 with kind of the glass and metal feel on that front. So, you know, you may love the design. Check it out in store. It's a love-hate thing. But I've been very pleased with it. It's a 4-inch Super AMOLED display, and I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but like it's bright. I mean, it's like very, very bright, and it does itself justice on Android because of all the different colors. One thing I noticed on Windows Phone 7, because of this core, really it's a couple of colors, like a black background, blue tiles, occasional orange and green here or there, but it's very, very, very bright out of the box. And I turned it on and was like, wow, that's woo. That's really bright. Typical applications are pre-installed on this one. AT&T Family Map, AT&T My Wireless, Navigator, Radio, UVerse Mobile. And then the typical Windows Phone 7 stuff, calculator, calendar, camera, Hotmail, Xbox Live pre-installed, Internet Explorer for your browsing, Marketplace, Office pre-installed, and then Samsung has what they call the Daily Briefing, or Now, which is what it's listed as in the menu here. You can see, jump into that, and it's like the Daily Briefing stuff on Android, on TouchWiz, where you pop in here, you can check your weather, you can check news, stocks, all from one page. So you don't have to go into the Weather Channel and go into AP Mobile and then go into Yahoo Finance or anything like that. You can auto-check those from that application. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let's have a look at the design here. 3 buttons on the bottom, the typical back, home, and search. Left side, volume rocker. Right side, power button on the top left. On the bottom left, you have your camera shortcut button. And then on the top, you have your 3.5mm headphone jack and your micro USB charging port. Now, this is on the Galaxy S line, and I love this. The sliding door that keeps the dust and such out of the micro USB charging port. Nice touch there, and carried over to the Windows Phone 7 devices. 5-megapixel camera with a flash on the back. Then you can see the battery door. It's kind of a sloped battery door and slopes up at the end here, and your microphone is on the bottom. Now this is what it looks like for the most part out of the box. I've changed some of the icons around, but out of the box this is what it looks like. The tiles are there, and the interesting thing about Windows Phone 7, as I've said before, you can't change the tiles. In other words, if I wanted my messaging tile to be a rectangle instead of a square, I can't do that. It's out of the box. The calendar is a rectangle. The messaging is a square. It's predetermined. Perhaps in the next version of Windows Phone 7 we'll see that option, but right now there's no way to say, hey, I want my messaging to be a rectangle so I can see the messaging or my text messages on the screen. It's all very very dependent on the actual program. So typical Windows Phone 7 stuff, as I said. Let's take a quick look at messaging just to give you an idea of what's different there. Now here's your conversations. You can see Windows Phone already here. And then the transition effects, it's a 1 GHz Hummingbird processor in this device, so similar to the Snapdragon-equipped Windows Phone 7 devices. Very quick on the transitions, and I've been pleased on that front. And all across the board, the transitions are very fluid, they're very pretty in Windows Phone 7, and despite that lack of multitasking, they're very fast. I mean, it's buttery smooth. So this is a read-only message, but let's do a test text message here, for example, and we'll do, hello, how are you? So you saw that it auto-corrected my HAL And you can see, even on a 4-inch display, I've been working a lot with the HD7 in some comparison tests over the past few days. I'm used to that 4.3-inch display. And even that 0.3 inches makes a difference. The keyboard here is great, don't get me wrong, but and you can use it in landscape mode as well, but coming down, it's a little bit smaller. But the display is just absolutely gorgeous. The camera's not doing it justice. That black in the background is so black. And then on the front, just very clear, easy to use, just absolutely gorgeous display, even if it is a little bit too bright for my taste. So let's say, how are you doing today? And I go back and say, I don't want to say hello, I wanted to say something else. One of the benefits of Windows Phone 7, you can click on the word. Maybe I meant to say Brooke. And click on R. I meant to say 8. And then I click to say along. And today, that. So, Brooke, how ate you along toast? I didn't mean to say, I didn't say hello, how are you doing? I said, Brooke, how ate you along toast? So, pretty cool there. You can go back and change the words after the fact. And that makes up a little bit for the fact that there's no copy and paste in Windows Phone 7 out of the box. So, it's one of those things. It's nice to have that feature. I would have loved to have had copy and paste out of the box, but I'm sure that'll come in some future version of Windows Phone 7. Now, I just sent a test text message. You'll see how it appears from the main screen here. It pops up at the top, very unintrusive. Like the iPhone 4. I'm not going to say names, but like some operating system platforms where it's like, new message right in front of what you're doing, stops what you're doing. It's nice that it appears in the top corner, and then just goes away after a while if you don't click it. Now, if I go back and say something else and resend it, I'll send a test message, for example, you can see I can click on that and it'll drive me into the messaging. But you'll notice here, I have one message now. That face is a cool little touch about Windows Phone 7. That face changes as I get messages. It's a normal smiley face, and it changes to a wink face, and it changes to a whoo, I got a lot of messages face after you receive, I think it's 3 or 4. Let's take a look at the contacts, or the people tile, as we say. And this is your contacts list, and you can see, as I said earlier, about the font. It's nice. They've done a decent job with wrapping it. And not wrapping it like the music. Haha. No, I'm just kidding. You can see they've done a nice job with wrapping the text, and you can see there's all where you can see all your contacts, what's new, and then once you start calling people on a regular basis or text messaging, there's a frequently called or frequently contacted one that pops up as well. But let's, add a contact here just as an example, and you can see what it looks like out of the box. You can add a photo, we can add a name. Oh man Baker, that's my going name. So we can add that, and we can add a phone, just give you an idea. And then go down and do email, ringtone, and other, and then you get quite a few in the other options: address, website, birthday, notes, anniversaries, things like that, office location, your job title, typical stuff that you see in contacts lists across the platforms. But very clean, very nice touch. Now, one thing you'll notice, the icons at the bottom, at times you may look at those and say, how the heck do I know what those are? For example, what's the push pin? What's the chain link kind of icon? If you're not sure, you can click on the 3 red dots over here, and it expands the menu. And once it brings it up, in addition to the other menu options like delete, you can see right below it says pin, link, and edit. So you can do that across the menus. If we go back here, for example, there's no buttons, but if there were, I could click on that and bring it back up. Once I'm in edit, for example, bring it up, save, or cancel, so you can see, if you're ever in that time where you're not sure what it is, you can click on that and get some insight. Phone-wise, very similar to the HD7, or almost, if not exactly the same as the HD7 and the Surround and the other Windows Phone 7 devices. You can see call history. I haven't called anybody on this device. You can see voicemail button at the bottom, dial pad, and contacts from the phone icon. So there's the dial pad, nice and large. Nice and large there, and you can see the network ID. And you can call it, or you can save it from the dial screen. You can go into contacts and your call settings as well. Now, one frustration I've had with Windows Phone 7, I've said this in past videos, so if you watch those, I'm sorry I'm rehashing a lot of this stuff. But for the people that are new to Windows Phone 7 or this video, you can see right out of the box, I can see the time up top. It's 5:01, for example, but I can't see the battery life or the signal strength indicator. It's pretty easy. I just drag and drop, and it brings it down, but the frustration is there's no way to keep it there. There's no Windows Phone 7 option in the settings to keep it on the screen. You notice after a few seconds it'll slide back up. See? Just slid back up, and anytime I want to check it, I have to keep sliding it down, wait for it to go back up, slide it down again. So it's a little bit frustrating there, you know, to because I'm the type of person, you know, some people it's a love-hate thing. Some people love to see it, some people don't. But I prefer to see at all times what my battery is like, and if I need to charge. So, you know, for a person like me, I can't see that unless I'm in certain apps, like the call or like the phone app or something like that. So, kind of a frustration, not a deal breaker by any means, but I was a little annoyed by that. Let's have a look at the email app just to give you an idea what it looks like. I have no messages in this Hotmail account, but you can see this is what it looks like. And you have the option of scrolling over. Now, when you see the big font at the top like that, just scroll over through unread, urgent, all. You can scroll back and forth and get an idea. Let's see if I can sync that and see if I can bring some up. Unread, urgent, and then you can click there to send a new message. I can go down here and see it's send, attach, and close. I'm going to close that. You can see select folders and sync along with the email settings. So I installed my Google, my Old Man McTweety at Gmail account just so you could see what messages look like, since that Hotmail account didn't have any messages in it. And you can see, again, transition effects are in place here, but you can see what it looks like with the larger fonts. And let's say, for example, let's go to Google Buzz, important information. See what it looks like? It's a very clean look. Again, swipe down to see the signal strength indicator and battery life. But very clean, nice font, and the Super AMOLED display really does it justice. Absolutely beautiful. The colors look good. Again, transition effects are very smooth. Now, if you find a picture, or find an email rather, let me see if I can find one like Google Voice. See if I can find one that has some images in it. It looks like I don't have one, but maybe Blur has images. Yeah, here we go. Download pictures. We'll click on that, and then it will download the pictures in the account. And it'll tell me, you know, show the pictures and show things like that. So pretty clean, looks good. Maybe a frustration for some, like Blur service at Motorola. You know, if you don't know who it's coming from, at Mott is all it says. It doesn't allow you to scroll over and see any more after that. Not a frustration to me. I think it's actually very clean, very good looking.